Let me introduce our next speaker, who is going to be Meenakshi. So, Meenakshi has been an HR professional, but she discovered her passion for holistic healing. Her intuitive abilities guided her, and her conviction towards the healing space was so strong that it led her to resign from a pretty great corporate job and move from Bangalore to Belgaum to focus on her work in the healing space, where she offers services like tarot reading, pranic healing, graphology, graphotherapy, and Akashic records readings. So today she will be discussing how Akashic records, which involves accessing our soul records as well, how it can help us understand our physical health, and she will also guide us through experiencing certain principles of Akashic records as much as it is possible in a large gathering like this. So I hope everyone has the intention of taking something wonderful from today's sessions. And that's the intention I'm setting for us and for the whole session for today. You can have your own intentions as well. With that, over to you, Meenakshi.
Thank you, Devi. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Good morning. One request is I would request you all to kindly switch on your cameras if you're comfortable, please. I'll also share the reason for that. It just like Deepthi was saying, it helps connect better. Also, the therapists who are there today, I'm sure they bring in their energies and a lot of healing will happen through the day. So when the cameras are on and we are also able to connect you better, that, the healing space gets much more stronger. Not to say if the cameras are off, it will not happen, it'll still happen. But with it being on, because your faces are in my conscious awareness, the healing will be a lot more effective. So just give you all a minute. Quickly, if you all are comfortable, please do switch on. If not, I completely understand. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what we'll do is before we get on to what are Akashic records and how are they linked to the physical illnesses, we'll do a very small activity. Okay, so Deepti's done a beautiful, simple meditation with all of us. What I would like to do is the space that we are sitting in, it could be our homes, our offices, wherever we are. The external environment is very, very important for internal healing. So as we get into the session, I'll explain what that means and if it makes sense. So the places we are in, that for one needs to be cleansed energetically. I'm sure all of us clean it on a day-to-day basis. Our mates come in, all the helps beautifully help us clean the areas. But energy healing or energy clearing is equally important. So I'll explain that once we are done. So what I would do is you all just need to close your eyes and stay connected with me and just allow me or give me the consent to clear the spaces you are sitting in, not just clear, but also energize. So that will just help you through the day, assuming that you're going to be there till the end of the session in the evening, 6 p.m. It'll help you all stay energized, help you all absorb the energy better, absorb the healing better that's being shared by all the therapists. All right, good to go? Okay, great. Kindly close your eyes. Okay. Let's visualize a beautiful ball of golden light. Watch the golden light move into your entire house or the office area. Cleansing, clearing up all the blocked energy around. The walls are being cleared, the ceilings, all the nooks and corners, the chairs you're sitting on, the gadgets that you're connected to. The light is entering all the storage areas, utility areas, washrooms, Any outer spaces surrounding the space you are in, your balconies, gardens, sit outs, corridors, lifts. All the less than love energies are being transmuted in the violet fire. Now, the same ball of golden light is energizing the space that you're in. It's beautifully pumping in lots of energy, fresh energy. Lifts, corridors, perimeter of the space, your houses, offices, the space you're sitting in specifically, the gadgets you're connected through. All the areas which were cleansed are now being thoroughly energized. Coming to your physical body, your entire auric field, the magnetic field around your body is being cleansed and energized. All your chakras have been cleansed, energized, and stabilized. Gently take the focus to the center of your chest. This is called the heart chakra. Visualize a beautiful ball of pink light. Watch the pink light spread all over your physical being. Let's place a strong intention. I choose to release all fears, anxiety, anger, insecurities from every single cell in the body now. I instead allow myself to be filled with lots of self-love, self-care, healing, abundance, prosperity, and harmonious relationships. So be it, so be it, so be it. Let's call upon all the ascended masters, all your masters, spirit guides, spiritual helpers, angels, to help you all absorb the knowledge through the day, help you assimilate it in your day-to-day activities, and ensure physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So be it, so be it, so be it. You may rub your palms together, place them on your eyes. Slowly open your eyes whenever you're ready. Okay, everybody doing fine? Okay, anybody having any discomfort in the body, any heaviness, or all good? Fresh, ready to go? Okay, I take that as a yes. Okay, so starting with today's session, which I will be handling is Akashic Records. Have you all heard about Akashic Records? Yeah, Or have any of you all also experienced to go a step further? Have you all gotten sessions done, experienced? Yeah, Navina? Thanks. Okay. 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 So I'll give a brief overview of what Akashic records are. Okay. So whenever you all feel there are some doubts, you want to, stop me, or if the pace is too fast, please raise your hands or just unmute yourselves. Daisy, I assume they can unmute themselves, right? If need.
They can, but I would recommend people raising their hands so there
Okay.
is no chaos.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you all can raise your hands and ask your questions. Okay. All right. So Akashic records are our soul records. Okay. And these are nothing but our lifetimes on earth. So, whatever journey we've had throughout, so many lifetimes you would have had, right? So, every single thought, deed, action, intention, emotion, everything is recorded in these books energetically, and it is stored in a specific dimension. So that's why they're called as Akashic records. The dimension is called Akasha, and that's why they're called as Akashic records. And there are these spiritual beings who take care of these records. They guard these records. So all of us have our individual record keepers who take care of these records. So you, unlike in other spaces, as we know, right, it could be a tarot, it could be a healing. You can get it done for somebody else, right? It could be a partner, for a child, for a colleague, could be anything. We get it done for somebody else. In Akashic, that can't be done because when we are accessing these record keepers, they ensure that you are accessing only your records, right? So it is that way is a very, very secure modality wherein without consent, we cannot access our records. So these beings are called as record keepers. Now, in the Hindu mythology, if you all have heard of Chitragupt, have you all heard of Chitragupt? Yeah, so Chitragupt is a record keeper, right? So in many cultures, there is a day wherein puja or a fast is kept for Lord Chitragupt, wherein it's just, it comes from a different fear-based psychology, wherein we are told he keeps a ledger, of the good deeds, bad deeds, and we get punished later. Whereas in reality, it's just a half truth. He does keep account because he's a record keeper, but there is no fear that needs to be involved. Unlike the conditioning we are given that, you'll be fried in oil, burnt here, burnt there, nothing of that sort happens. Okay. There is a process where we beautifully transition and we see our own journey and we decide. Literally, it's like if you all have seen, there's a movie called Soul on Netflix. Have you all seen? Have you all watched? It's an animated movie. It's a beautiful movie. If you have not, I would recommend. It's very, very nicely done. It's nothing but the journey after death. So without it being very heavy or jargon based, it's very nice. It's a nice light watch. So you all can, have a good weekend, watch that, have fun. So that it looks like a single screen theater where we are taken, and all your masters, guides, all of them are there to handhold you. You see your entire movie flash, the entire life flashed like a movie in front of you, scene after scene after scene. And it's there that we see and we decide what could have been done better. Chalo, this was my life purpose. I couldn't do this. In my next lifetime, what better can I do? These were my life lessons. What could have been done better? And accordingly, we choose everything. So we choose our bodies, the way we will look, what ambitions are we going to have, which career, what jobs, bosses, spouses, parents, children, name it, and everything is chosen by us. Okay. So if you look at the wider picture, whatever we are experiencing today technically has been chosen by us. Right now, a lot of people would say, if I was choosing, why will I choose so many ailments in my body? Why will I choose pain? Why will I choose suffering? Right? Why not I choose abundance? That's because when you're seeing your journey, it's done with a very, very objective frame. It's like a plus one minus one is a zero, correct? So I choose the soul. I might have experienced something. I do a role reversal. I redeem my karma and I'm done with. And that's how we choose everything, thinking, quickly we'll just clear off everything and we get going with our business. It's done from a very objective point of view. Once we are on earth, emotions come into the picture. So I may have chosen thyroid with a different intent altogether. When I come here, thyroid becomes a massive thing. I'm doing right, I'm exercising right, why am I not losing weight? Where is this coming from? All of that. Okay, so this is to quote a very, very small example. So, Akashic Records is nothing but a beautiful collection of whatever we've been through. So, there's no good, bad, right, wrong, nothing. It's just a collection of all these emotions and it is stored in these books. So, what essentially happens in an Akashic Records reading is all of us can access our records. You can go to a professional access it, of course, but actually, all of us have the gift of accessing it ourselves. And like Deepthi was saying, to give a scientific bent also, it has been proven. So if you all have heard of the mathematician Ramanujam, have you all heard? Yeah. So if you have read even briefly about him, he would say that mathematical formulas would come to him in his dream. He was praying to his family goddess called Namagiri, and he would say, these formulas just came to me in my dream, but it had to be verified, of course. So she would just give him the last, the conclusion of it, and then he had to work on it and find evidence. So, where was this coming from exactly? Now, even Nikola Tesla actually admitted that whatever discoveries, inventions he made, the Nikola coil, apparently came to him through some universal knowledge. What is that? Right? So all of this came from a central warehouse of energy, and that's nothing but the Akashic records. So Akashic records can be used to access our own life, our own journey, what's happening, why is it happening, recurring patterns, all of that. Not just that, it can also be accessed for universal knowledge. Okay, makes sense? So far, so good? Any questions? Okay, great. So, what typically happens in case of a physical illness? So, I would like you all to ask this. What do you all think? What are the many ways that we may manifest it in our body? What do you all think? How do you get an illness?
Uh, Meenakshi Navina here.
Yes.
Yeah, so according to me, I think whatever I understood is that when the emotional body gets too much filled with whatever not so good emotions, then it gets manifested in our physical body.
Hmm.
And also, as you said, that although we may choose on a soul level certain ailments, but it is to nullify the karmic, like plus one, minus one. So basically, these are the manifestations which is to nullify our karmic accounts also, one of the
Correct.
things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Energetically, yes. Any other ways you all think it could manifest in our body? Genetics, parents, ancestors. Yeah. Genetic is ancestors primarily. Yeah. Yes. Navina, you had to add something? Sorry.
Yeah, so even I think even in the ancestral things, so although it is passed on to our DNA genetically, but I think it gets triggered only when the environment facilitates it. I mean,
Yes.
if nothing is because it may pass to our other siblings in the family, but they may not get triggered. But if I happen to be in an environment which triggers, so then it will be triggered. Otherwise, it will be in a silent space.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Brilliant. You hit the nail on the head. So, so all of this genetically, primarily, we'll start with genetics, okay? So we know that if my mother is diabetic, my grandparents are diabetic, a high chance that I will be diabetic, okay? That's one thing I would like to definitely call out in this is any physical ailments somewhere comes from a very fear-based society also. Okay, we will talk about that in detail a little later. See, it's one thing to be cautious, one thing to be careful, take care of your health and all of that. It's another thing to be completely paranoid about it. Okay. So the minute you go to a doctor, most of the times what happens is, one is there is so much information on the internet. We read and we read and we read a simple cough, cold, if you leave it, it'll be okay in 3, 4 days. No worries. But during COVID, do you all remember what happened? Simple, you don't taste salt, it just triggers that fear. Small, small things. So, one, that's what I said. So, being cautious is one, being careful with your health is one, being paranoid is another. So, when we start becoming fearful, excessively fearful, like Navina said, right? The environment we are in triggers it. So, and this is again scientifically proven that thanks to the genes or the DNA, everything is actually there in our cells. All the disorders, diseases possibly there in the world are there in our cells. Some get triggered and some don't. Now, how do these get triggered and what are cells? Now, there is something called, so if you all remember now the process that I did, we did something called as cellular memory that I said I'll talk about, right? Cellular memory is literally that. It's memory within the cells. And how do we develop this? One is it develops through lifetimes. Say this lifetime, I am diabetic. And it's already seeded in me, don't have a halwa, don't have sugar, don't have this, don't have that, walk around, jump around, all of this. So that fear is coded in my cells. Next lifetime, I might be in a very, very healthy body. But for no rhyme or reason, I go near a sugar and something deep within says, no, let me refrain. That's your cellular memory. Right? It's like memory with fire, right? You'll not go and put the finger in the fire. Why? Because you burnt it as a child probably and you remember. So it's there in the cellular memory. So during Akashic records, what's done is cellular memory cleansing happens. So every time we access some lifetime, organically, depending on what the record keepers show us, that lifetime is healed. And how does that happen? Just the awareness. Now, as we speak in the session, right? You're listening, you're absorbing, yes, this is a possibility. I can also bring about a physical illness by this method. Just the awareness heals that illness by 50%. Isn't that amazing? You've not done anything, you've just listened, and the awareness ki, yeah, ho sakta hai. Okay? And the rest of the 50% is then in your hands. Okay? Now, all the healing modalities, nowhere, the disclaimer is they don't replace your traditional medicines. Sometimes what we need is what we need, right? What the energy healing does is it works like a catalyst, right? So instead of suffering for 3 months, if you can clear it up in 1 month, why not? While the traditional medicines address the symptoms, energy healing gets to the root cause of it. So if you can root it out of your system, not just the physical body, but your entire cellular memory, why not? It's going to be a blessing for the lifetimes to come and the lifetimes we've had, right? If that's a possibility, why not opt for it? Okay, so cellular memory is nothing but our memories which get coded in the DNA. And that's how we pass it on from one generation to the other. So in this lifetime, say somebody is going through early baldness, for example, right? The child is born, the fear is already there in the parents. Oh my God, what if the child has the same thing? I have to ensure the child is eating healthy, having all the right massages, all of that. It has already started. If I take bath in a shower, I'll have hair fall. Started there itself, fear. So even if the child is come in with healthy genes, the fear from the external environment. This is what I was saying, right? The external environment is super, super important. Okay. Here I will quote an example, and this is something I know this person very, very personally. It's an extended family, but I do know this person. Again, COVID times. All right. The person, this was the second phase, if I'm not wrong. The person was detected with COVID. Healthy, absolutely healthy, not more than 46, 47-year-old lady. Okay. And all of us assume that she's perfectly healthy. She's going to be okay at the max 2 weeks and then all good. On the 11th day, we get the news that she has passed away. Tests were run. She didn't have diabetes. She didn't have BP, thyroid, no heart issues, no kidney issues, all the technical tests that are done, right? Perfectly fit and fine. No cause for it. So why did it happen? We got to know all those 10 days. One is from the doctors, massive fear. Secondly, on the internet, which kept bracketing people into ages. You fall in this category, you're at a high risk. So those 10 days, she was completely into the internet, reading all kinds of stuff. That time, even the media was very, very strong, right? Everybody's seeing that, hearing that. Throughout the day, no respite. Even after death, when the body was examined, no issues in the body. Her lungs were perfectly normal. Whereas they would say, right, COVID attacks the lungs first. Nothing, no issues. Purely fear and our external environment. Okay, so first and foremost to understand is, it's one thing to have basic knowledge. Yes, you do go on the internet, you read stuff, it's okay. But you need to know where to draw the line. Right? Beyond a point, we don't need that. We have a doctor who is well read, who's been trained in his degrees, right? He has it. Whatever knowledge you need, you can go and ask him. He will treat you with the side effect, everything. Internet, the issue is there is so much and we don't know how much is authentic. Correct? Yeah. So first and foremost, have that faith that if with the deepest faith, you can turn around illnesses in your body. Okay. Again, I will quote with an example here. Almost, so in Akashic only, there have been about 6 cases. I've had 6 clients who could avoid a hysterectomy, uterus removal. Okay, again, disclaimer, this doesn't replace anything. If your doctors tell you a certain thing, yes. But what came up in their record, and I'm very happy they opted for it. The doctors told them you have to come after X number of weeks. We will do the scans. There are so many fibroids, all of that. The uterus has to be removed. Thankfully, because they were also regular clients, they thought, let me check in the Akashic. Now, what happens in an Akashic is anything which is recurring, back to back, it's happening. You're eating right, you're exercising right, but the physical health is not improving. You're having your hormones, you're having your supplements, doing everything right. Then there has to be something more, right? So when you access your records, what typically happens is the record keepers take you to the source of it. Has it been going on for 3 lifetimes? Like Deepthi said, right? It's very, very true. Thyroid having a relationship with a parent, right? So in case of diabetes, it has been seen, ironically, it's the bitterness in the heart that triggers diabetes. And then physically issues are there, of course, your pancreas and your sugar levels, all of that is anyway there, one part of it. Energetically, it's the bitterness in the heart. So the minute you're able to work on that, cancer is suppressed anger. Again, like Deepthi said, right? She explained very beautifully with her phone and the things on top which keep getting accumulated, right? We feel to maintain peace in a situation, we let go, let go, let go. Okay, I'm being the bigger person, let go. What we are technically doing is not letting go. It's just as if, a spring cleaning, fatafat, you just push everything under the rug. When the wind blows, all the dust blows from under the rug, right? Have you all experienced? You're very calm for 6 months and then one day it's just like an explosion. And the things we say, the things we do, we don't even know where did that. I thought I had forgotten. When I was 11 years old, something would have happened and they just came out. How did it come out? From where? Where was I storing? Cells, cellular memory. And you'll have heard of chakras, right? So every healer talks about chakras and meridians, right? What are these? This is nothing but the energy centers in the body. And these energy centers are all assigned to specific organs. So the minute your chakras are working harmoniously, the organs, the energy goes to the hormones and they're in turn working harmoniously. So for us to ensure we are in a good physical body, a holistic health is very, very important. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, always possible, right? Simple. So coming back to this case of the uterus removal. So what came up in the Akashic was in some lifetime, and I'm quoting just one person, some lifetime, the lady passed away when she was expecting twins. And there was a car crash. And of course, right, she met her end. Because that was a dying thought, it was very, very strong, and the energy was stuck in and around the uterus. So even in this lifetime, what is happening? She was having trouble conceiving first. After she conceived, lots of complications, miscarriage. And then after that, now, so all the issues primarily, otherwise in a very fit body, everything in and around the reproductive organs. So the minute we could detect that in the Akashic, we just went to the root cause. That happened in one lifetime. How many lifetimes has she going through menstrual pains and cramps and everything around it? Once that number came up, the beauty in Akashika is the record keepers not only take us to the source, they also give you solutions and very simple ones. Very, very simple ones. So it could be simple meditation, healing, right? Or doing whatever you need to do. Sometimes they also give dietary changes. Do this, do that, include fresh greens in your food or, hydrate yourself better. So very simple things. And the best thing about Akashika is there is no binding. They'll give you their guidance and it's completely up to you, take it or leave it. Your Akashic gets updated accordingly. Okay, it's just then and there. So they very nicely said this is the cause. Now, once she got to know of the cause, the guilt which was coming from the miscarriage was gone. Till that time, she was holding it and she was holding herself responsible for it, making it more and more difficult. So every monthly period used to be that much difficult. To the extent it developed into fibroids and the uterus had to be removed. But luckily, what the record keepers and the beauty in that session, I still remember is not once did they say your uterus will not have to be removed. They didn't say that. They just said if you do this, there is 80% chances you will not need the surgery. The 20% is still open because it depends, right? You do the healing or not, you do the affirmation or not, right? It's completely, the ball is in your court. So the minute she knew ki where is this coming from, 50% of it energetically was cleared then and there. And they gave her a time period of whatever number of weeks. If you do this, continue doing this daily for so many days, so many times, do these affirmations and come back. We'll do it. We'll do a scan later. A body scan can be done. She didn't need that. Within 2 weeks, she came back and she said, I went to the doctors, the scans were done, and her uterus was clear of all the fibroids. And it's amazing, right? Even for me as a reader, when somebody comes back with that, it is so beautiful. And all thanks to her, right? She put in that effort. She didn't let it go saying, oh no, I don't know if this works, doesn't work, who knows, right? Right? But she worked upon it and it's been beautiful. And ever since, her monthly cramps have gone down massively. She doesn't need medication. It's at a bearable level. It's okay, manageable. Right? So so I quoted this example to tell you all how does that fear psychosis play, number one. Number two, through lifetimes, what we carry energetically, once that's cleared, so much of healing is possible. Now, different ailments will have different reasons. There could be so many things, right? Now, each case is different. So, like Daisy was saying, right? So, when there's such a huge audience, we can't access everybody's records. But when we do, every soul's journey is different. And it's amazing how the record keepers help us with so much love. There is no judgment, nothing, ki this happened, that. No. It's a beautiful space. You feel secure and you realize what's not working for you and you root it out. As simple as that. Okay. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So one is, so like I said, cellular memory, super, super important. Okay. External environment. So like I said, this is one wherein, we know that we are hearing stuff, we are reading stuff, and that brings about. One more, because I think examples are the best way to even put that across, right? Otherwise, it will get too technical in terms of an Akashic. And which I've also experienced lately. This is my own experience. All of a sudden, from everywhere, there's news coming about vaccination, cervical cancer, breast cancer. You have to get this vaccine, that vaccine. So at one point, wherein cancer was not even in my conscious this thing anywhere, because you don't think about it like that, right? What if I get? What if I don't get? Nahin. Suddenly, I realized at one point it was just getting so much. So we need to see how much information we need, how much we cut out. So I would advise a lot of times have that basic information, but if somebody is dwelling on it, better to cut those conversations and do the simple meditations that we do. So like Deepthi did right now, it is very beautiful, right? Simple. You just go through your body, you see where the discomfort is. You can, it may sound weird, but you can actually connect to the fears, to the pains in the body, communicate with them before you pop a medicine, before you pop a dolo. If you have a headache, very, very simple, just be aware ki, okay, theek hai. Is it on the right side, left side, the entire head is, literally throbbing. What do? Just connect with it. Once you focus for even 2-3 minutes, not more than that, just focus 2-3 minutes, you will see the headache will vanish. Just try it. Not because I'm saying, just you can, as an experiment, try doing if it works for you. Any aches and pains in the body, before you pop a pill, just be aware, see how it works. Right. So I know people who talk to the ailments, who ask what's happening, what do you want, what are you not getting, and it gets resolved. So to each his own. So once you discover the modalities, even through the day to day, as you'll assimilate the knowledge, you will see self-healing is very much possible. It's as simple as Navina said, right? We just have to be aware of your external environment, and that's all that it takes. Okay. One important part I will cover in this is also ancestral healing. Okay, ancestral again is part, it comes in the Akashic, the record keepers may say something that's coming through the lineage, right? In some lifetimes, somewhere, something would have happened. And in order to redeem it, we would have bought it in our bodies. Okay. Now, a lot of people argue that, why would I suffer for something my ancestors have done, right? What's the connection? My forefathers have done something. I'm born after 10 generations. Why would I pay for it? Because you would have been one of those ancestors. So remember the process I was explaining to you all, where you see your life like a single screen theater and you choose. There's a reason you've chosen this lineage. Lineage is nothing but the parentage, right? Your parents, your mom, dad, their lineage is the reason you're coming into that picture, right? So this could be a little sensitive, but I'll cover it either which ways, okay? So somebody who's undergone abuse of some kind, right? Now, of course, it's an entirely different debate to forgive, not forgive, all of that is there. But in the first place, somebody could ask, why will I choose abuse on myself? Isn't that foolish? Isn't that stupid? Why would I do that? In the ancestral lineage, sometime, for example, something could have happened wherein you could have been the one who's been on the other side of the spectrum. And while you were trying to redeem your karmas, you just chose to do a role reversal. Okay, I'll experience it myself in this lifetime, heal from it, redeem it, and be done with it. So, something like that is deeply encoded in the lineage karma. And again, comes from the cellular memory. So once that's detected, it can be quickly cleared. Okay, so that's about, it's a very, very brief about ancestral healing. If anybody or if any of y'all have doubts, feel free to ask. So that's pretty much about, if I have to give you a brief overview of how does Akashic connect to the physical ailments, can those be detected beforehand? Yes. A lot of times, though Akashic is not used for predictions, a lot of people ask, any red flags in the next 2, 3 years, what do you think? What should you do? So they normally recommend, they'll ask you to do a full body checkup or do a vitamin D test or a B12. Normally, all of that they do. And they also give preventive measures. Just sit in the sun for 10 minutes, do this, do that. Simple things. So illnesses can not only be cured, rooted out, they can also be prevented, because a lot of healing comes through in Akashic and a lot of meditation, simple ones. I understand in today's lives, everybody is so busy and the attention span is also so less, right? So it's not practically possible for us to close our eyes, sit for 20, 25 minutes. I completely understand. All it takes is just 5 to 6 minutes max. And just before I complete, what I would like to share is, and this is my personal favorite, okay? Now, there are days wherein absolutely we are preoccupied with so many things. No time to sit down, pray, meditate, nothing. What do? First, you detect, are you a chai person or a coffee person? Okay? You know that? Okay, I love my cup of coffee. Great. You find 5 minutes in a day. You would definitely be sitting down and having a cup of coffee, right? Sit down with your cup of coffee. No to-do list in your mind. Is it a weekend? Is it a Monday? What's lined up? Nothing. 5 minutes. Just enjoy every single sip of your coffee. That's it. Now, the minute we sit saying, I'm not going to think about to-do list, that will right then come, right? We've heard the story about the monkey and the medicine, right? Yeah. So you don't even have to set that intention. Nothing. Just pick up your coffee, pick up a quiet corner in the house, sit down, just relish your coffee. And this is something I've seen my mom do. She would be running around and she would leave for work at 7:30 in the morning. But my most favorite childhood memory is, in all that chaos, she would enjoy. I'm a South Indian, so filter coffee, runs in the blood. So that one cup of filter coffee, she would just sit down and nothing in the world could move her. She would just enjoy her coffee and that will give her energy through the day. So I'm sure all of us can afford 5 minutes in a day, right? That's the simplest and the easiest form of meditation. Okay, nothing else to be done. As simple as that. Okay? Okay, I'm open for questions. Feel free to ask. We have a lot of time at hand, so I'm happy to take any questions.
Yeah, I wanted to ask,
Yes.
Meenakshi, I just wanted to know for my information, like, say there are many Akashic record readers. Now, will it depend upon the skill and experience of healer to interpret those Akashic records, or it's the same for everyone?
No, there are multiple factors, right? So
Huh.
one is you may have, so say 3 Akashic readers. Okay. You
Yeah,
have the
yeah,
same question. What's my sole purpose in life? Or what are my life lessons in this lifetime, for example, right?
correct, correct.
Today you're
Yeah,
doing a session with me. Tomorrow you're doing with Deepthi. Third day you're doing with Daisy, for example.
right.
Very high chance you will get very different answers to the same question.
Hmm.
Why is that? Because
Yeah.
today the lifetime that I am tapping into, that's getting healed. So tomorrow that will not even show up. So say your lesson to be worked upon was anger, for example.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
clears the lifetimes on anger. So tomorrow when you access it again, that may not come up. So what Deepti finds tomorrow and what Daisy finds the day after could be entirely different. So to answer your question, yes, of course, the skill and the talent is there, right? Unlike any modality, how you read, how you
Hmm.
interpret is there.
Hmm.
But also what's important is how receptive the client is. So like DP said, for some people, unfortunately, they don't even realize it. We are so caught up in the victim mode, we don't know if you're getting attention out of that ailment. I do know children who constantly fall sick. And when we dwell further, we found out that that was one way for the child to get attention from the parents. Because that child was more often, the child was very matured. So, not really, the parents felt doesn't need really a lot of hand holding, right? So the client also has to be receptive to it. You have to be willing to heal. And third, and the most important thing is the record keepers know what you need when you need. They will never give information that will put you off track.
Okay.
Okay, so they
Okay.
know
Yeah.
exactly you. So today, say you do a reading today and you do something 6 months
Huh.
later, the
Huh.
reading will be very, very different because today maybe you're a little sensitive, you can't take a certain things, they'll be packaged to you in
Mhm.
a way. Tomorrow, when
Hmm.
you feel maybe it's the harsh reality that you need to hear, deal with,
Hmm.
sort out,
Hmm.
they will give that information accordingly. So multiple
Okay.
factors play in it. Did I
Multiple
answer your question?
factors. Yeah. 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 And I just wanted to know, this would help me understand the modality deeper.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Dr. Kavita.
Yes.
You just go in order.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you, Deepti, back again. So we had a beautiful session on Akashic records. Now I wanted to ask her that in case we want to access our own Akashic records, how do we meditate? Is it some kind of a regression we take ourselves through, or how do we do it to access our Akashic records?
Yeah. One is you need to be trained in it.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is a process for accessing it. So, like I said, it's in a different dimension. So, we are living in a 3D world, right? So,
Hmm.
the records are in the fourth dimension.
Hmm.
Again, without it getting too technical, it's nothing but here. So, just 6 inches above the crown chakra is the Akashic, and all our Akashics are there. But for us to be able to tap into it and be able to converse with the record keepers, you need that training. So yeah, I teach the basic level of Akashic. So you can learn, you can do it. No regression. So yeah, that's one thing. I'm sorry, I just forgot mentioning. So past life regression and Akashic, the main difference is the clients don't have to be hypnotized. They don't have to be regressed anywhere. Not required. You just have to stay connected to the Akashic Records reader. That's all. It's like a normal conversation that we are having right now. Okay.
Mhm.
So I will work like an intermediary between you and the record keepers. So while I'm in that dimension, you just tap into that energy basically. It's nothing. Okay. So whatever doubts you have or whatever concerns you have, I take it to them. Whatever guidance they share, I relate back to you. Right. So once you're trained in it, you can start accessing your own records. If not, one of the most simplest ways, and this is without any formal training also. For example, you would have experienced this, you're trying to, midst of a conversation, you're trying to remember a name of a movie or some stars who are there in some song. I'm just not able to recall, we feel it's at the tip of the tongue. It's just not coming out, we let it go. The more we strain ourselves, the more difficult it feels.
Mhm.
You would have gone out somewhere in a party or you have their friends having a good time and suddenly that name just flashes. Oh yes, that was the name and those are the stars in it. Why did that happen? You are in your most relaxed setting.
Mhm.
So to access your records when you are at your most relaxed best, it could be at a park, you love swimming, say in a water body. So whenever you're relaxed, you can actually, the answers come through in the Akashic.
Okay.
It'll just feel like an aha moment. Oh my God, where did that come from? It's just your Akashic. Yeah, but then, yes, but to answer your question specifically, no regression required, and you will need at least the basic level of training is required. Yeah. There are
Yeah,
3 levels.
actually,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, there are 3 levels.
Yeah, there are 3 levels: basic, advanced, and master. So after masters, you can start teaching the basic. But with the basic level, also, you can not only access yours, you can also access for others. You can start practicing professionally, even with the basic level.
And anyone can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody and everybody can learn Akashic and do. No formal, even no knowledge of any healing modalities, nothing of that sort required. Just an intention to wanting to learn and for it to help you basically in the right way, right? That's all that's required.
Okay, wonderful. So I don't know whether you can tell a little bit about your courses and how do we get connected with you for that?
Kavita, that's something we'll do
Yeah,
it post. Yeah, you can connect with us because she will have a course coming up in July.
Okay,
We'll
great.
share the details. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks, Kavita.
Lavina.
Yeah, so thank you so much, first of all, Meenakshi, and thankfully I was blessed enough to have a recording from you as well. Akashik, you did my Akashik.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm so sorry, I don't recall.
No, it's absolutely fine. There are so many. No, but I wanted to share one thing here that, I happen to be a COVID survivor myself. And, as you rightly said, I actually stopped myself with all the media information and everything. Although I was fearful to go to the hospital and I was in the ward and all that, but what helped me was my healings, which happened through my mentors and everything. My own thing that, no, it's nothing. Because Ishana is here, she just said me one thing, that Navina, just go and have the experience and come back. That was one thing which helped me to, survive in the hospital for 14, 15 days. And I just came back. So as you rightly said, just don't overconsume yourself and become fearful because, the more you fuel your fears, it will manifest.
True.
So that is the thing I wanted to share in this platform because this is a beautiful thing you shared and it helped so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you, Navina. Margaret.
Yeah, can you hear me?
A little feeble, but yes, go ahead.
Now can you?
Yes, better. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, is it Akashic record is only for health issues or every area of it?
Everything. Everything.
Every area of
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Anything and
Personal,
everything under the
professional.
sun. Yeah, everything.
Okay. So it is actually the time and the moment when you are coming for the Akashic records matters, right?
Not
That
really.
particular moment?
No, not really.
Not really. The
You mean
intent, yeah.
physical time, you're saying? Like,
yeah, physical time doesn't matter.
no. No such thing. Just an intention, and normally it's a 1 hour session. But since today's seminar, we are focusing on the physical illness part of it. I spoke on that, but absolutely anything and everything, because like I said, it's all the emotions, all the intentions, everything through so many lifetimes, right? So that could culminate into physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, religious, name it, and it's there. So, like I said, only predictions is something which is not the primary motive of it. So
I
predictions,
got
what happens is it depends, right? So you may take a session, you may or may not do certain things, and the Akashic gets updated. So our Akashic keeps getting updated every split second as we speak now. So you chose the seminar today, you're attending, and you're doing like the takeaways are beautiful, you're applying it in your life, it changes a certain way. So you attended, but you didn't find the time to apply any of it, it's different. So depending on your actions, intentions, the Akasha keeps changing every split second.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Margaret. Alifia.
Hi, Meenakshi. Thank you for that lovely session.
Thank you.
So, there's one very interesting thing you said in the beginning was you can also access universal knowledge through the records. So, I wanted to understand a little more because an Akashic is your personal records, right? So, you can access your past, your future, all of that. But where do you go to access universal knowledge? Like, do you then speak to the record keepers, the masters, or
Yes. Yeah. So the record keepers, they're already there. In the session, also your masters, your angels, maybe the deities you connect to, anybody that you connect to. The saints, a lot of times there have been experiences where gurus, somebody would have been connected to a guru over many lifetimes. In this lifetime, the person is not even aware, not even on the spiritual path, say. Right? A normal person who is, busy with his day-to-day activities. But that guru wants to connect back. That energy is present in the Akashic records library when the reading is done. Okay, so any universal knowledge that needs to come through to you, if it's in your records, if you're meant to receive it, that also is important for your path, right? Now, say somebody, say I have interest in extraterrestrials. Okay, I love about UFOs, I love all that alien stuff and everything. In my records, it will reflect, provided it is in sync with my journey. So say ask my record keepers, can you give me some more information? So say my soul path somewhere is to write something about it. or to talk about it, or maybe in some sessions it's going to help me. So if it is in alignment with my path, they will share the information. So that's the universal knowledge, right? Ultimately. So one portion of it is our personal records linking to it in a way that it has to be aligned to my soul path and soul purpose. If not, see, there are also times, sometimes they say you're not ready for the information now, or you need not know right now. That also happens. Happens rarely, but happens. Yeah. So most certainly, so what I normally encourage the clients to do is to jot down all the questions that are popping up in the mind. To not filter, to not judge anything at your end. Then you leave it to the record keepers. If they feel it's the right one for you, they share the knowledge. If they feel you're not ready right now, they might shoot it down. So yeah. Does that answer your question?
It does. So to just use your examples from earlier, Ramanujan could not have gotten Tesla's universal knowledge and vice versa, right? They could have only gotten what was meant for them.
This time for them, yes. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, that does answer.
Thank you, Alif.
Thank you, Alifia. Sharon?
Yeah, hi. For health issues, like if somebody has a couple of different health issues, can they be looked at in one reading, or do you need
Yeah.
to? Okay.
It depends.
Okay.
Depends how much of a healing is required. But so to say, all
Okay.
of it can be looked at in one reading. If they feel that you may need another session, which so far I've not experienced. So they
Right.
will ask you to do certain things, say for 41 days or for 2 months, 3 months, then come back. So if that's the case, yes, but there could be multiple things that could get addressed in one. For all you know, it's coming from one specific lifetime. And once that
Okay.
lifetime is cleared, fatafat, everything gets, it's like a
Can
clean
that
slate.
disease, like for example, if it's diabetes or kidney issues and all, can it be healed also?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Can be healed. Something like that could take a little longer.
Right.
Because we don't know how many lifetimes is it coming from. Number one, if it's in the cellular memory, that healing also takes a little bit of time and effort from your side. So, like I said earlier,
Okay.
the record keepers will tell you, guide you as to what needs to be done. But ultimately, you are the one who has to do it, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
your
Right.
intention, your intensity, your sincerity, all of that will play a huge role in how fast the ailment gets cleared.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, all
Fair
of it
enough.
can be
Makes
done in
sense.
one shot. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
I think I'll just share, since there's no other questions, Meenakshi, I'll just take a minute and share this thing which I came across recently. It was put up in the public space, so I'm sharing that somebody had a chronic piles issue.
Hmm.
And when they did a reading, they found that in one of the previous lives, they were a tiger, which died with an arrow which was hit on the anus. So that is where piles happens. So then the whole process, and chronic piles is very, very difficult to let or to heal. But that person was able to heal in a couple of months after the session, because then they had to shed that lifetime and come to this lifetime of a human body. So I found that very interesting.
Very
Like
interesting.
you were
Yeah.
an animal where you were shot in that particular body part,
Yeah.
and you carried that pain.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so sometimes a lot of things come up which we are not ready for, because I think sometimes it also takes time for the client to digest what has come up.
Correct. Correct. The acceptance, and to add to your example, which is beautiful, I did come across a client who had a lot of shoulder pain. So the person is not into sports or anything, nothing of that sort. No reason for the person to have a shoulder pain. And when they would go for their X-rays and scans and all of that, nothing came. Perfectly healthy. So when this, and for I think over a period of 14, 15 years almost. So when this person had a session, what came up was the person was a boxer in a different lifetime and have massive injuries on the shoulder. So much so the person had to quit the professional career. So, once that came into the awareness and that got healed, automatically in the session itself, the pain was gone, just vanished like how. So that's how powerful it can be. It is, rather.
Alka has a question. Yes, Alka.
Please. Yeah, hi, Alka.
Yeah, I wanted to ask H. pylori. I don't know why it happens. H. pylori. Have you heard about that? Stomach issues.
I'm sorry, I do not know what that is. Is it an ailment you're talking about?
Yeah, it's there's painful in stomach problems, something to do with the stomach.
Yeah, no, like I said, unless we access the person's records, we can't tell. Because for every
Oh.
soul, the reason could be very different.
Okay.
So-
Another thing, asthma.
Again, none of the ailments, none of them have like a standard set of reasons that this would be the cause and this is why it's, happening in the body. Depending on the soul's journey and what they need to redeem by having that in the body, that's very important. So the reason could vary.
Okay. But it can help.
Yeah, most certainly, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
So,
It's wonderful listening to you.
thank you so much.
Learning something new.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. We take the last one, Navina.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that when I had my Akashic records done with Meenakshi, the beautiful thing was, that, as she said rightly, that you have your questions ready. And if you're ready for the answer, then you will certainly get, and lot of insights you get, So for people who have not done the Akashic records, if you're in a crossroad, I would encourage that, at least you will get the awareness. What's happening, why it's happening, and then probably you can take the necessary actions, as she said. So I would recommend people definitely. And now I think Ishania is also, I think, an Akashic reader. So there are a couple of Akashic readers in that group itself. And I would really encourage people to get at least one done for you. It helps a lot. So just wanted to state that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Thanks, Navina. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Deepti, do we have time or for one last question? I think Radhika ji.
Yeah, we'll take one last.
Yes, please go ahead. Radhika, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? One last question. Okay, great. Okay. Thanks a lot for your time and thanks for patiently listening in. Thank you for your questions, for your feedback. I'm very, very grateful. And I will certainly pray that all of you all have a lovely day ahead. You're able to assimilate the knowledge through the different modalities and all of you all benefit from it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meenakshi, for that wonderful session. You explain things with so much love and care that I feel very inspired to have a session with you. It just feels very intriguing. And one more thing I have noticed today is Deepti's intention is very, very strong. We are done exactly at 11:30. She wants every session to be exactly on time. So we are exactly done within that with the first session. Let's see how it goes for the rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave.